your putty knife, and this is where a lot of people get squeamish, and if you're at all worried about performing this upgrade, please contact us. We do this service here for customers if they want. Insert the putty knife alongside the right edge of the Mac Mini and very gently lift up, and you will actually hear all the clips cracking and popping as they release. Turn the machine around and do the exact same on the opposite side, and you will find that the insertion of the tool is much more difficult because the seam is actually under a lot more stress and pressure now. Once you've got it inserted there, proceed with the exact same motion of popping the machine's case up and in, and now you're able to turn the machine over and remove the top. You don't need the terry cloth towel anymore. Let me show you the inside of the machine here. First off, we have the optical drive on top. We have the piece of PC2700 DDR memory on the side. The front of the unit, the side of the unit, we have a fan. And I'm going to remove the top. The very first thing we need to do is remove 3 screws. The Phillips P0 screwdriver does a fine job with that. Once the 3 screws are removed, you'll now notice this machine is not equipped with airport or Bluetooth. If you have airport or Bluetooth in your machine, you will find that there are a couple of more components inside and a couple of wires to remove. On the back side here, you'll actually see a wire. This is normally taped to the side of the computer because I've already removed this machine. I had to remove the piece of Kapton tape. You can do the same. It's just a small piece of yellow Mylar tape. Remove that and set it aside. And then lift up from the back, across the back of the optical drive, and the chassis is now exposed. Inside we have the piece of PC2700 memory, modem, and this is the processor's heatsink, and then right here is the PRAM battery. This is the slot that the airport card would attach to. It's a little riser card that has airport and Bluetooth on it, and this machine, like I said, is not equipped with that. You would need to be removing other components if you have that in your machine. Now here's the inside of the chassis that we just removed from the top. We have a large fan, we have a 2.5-inch hard drive, and the 5.25-inch optical drive. First thing I'm going to remove is the optical drive. If you're planning on replacing your hard drive, you do need to remove the optical drive. There are 6 Phillips P0 screws. There's 2 on the back that are on an interposer board, which I'll get to and show you a little closer in a moment, and 2 on each side. Once the 6 screws are removed, all you need to do is use your thumbnail, and very gently pulling on the front of the optical drive, it'll come right out, detaching itself from the top of the hard drive. Now we need to remove the hard drive also to replace it. And the first thing that we'll have to do is we'll have to remove the fan. The fan is attached by 3 screws. Now we've seen some minis that actually have only 2 screws holding it in. Whichever your machine has, just remove those screws. They're much longer, but they're still a Phillips P0. And then the fan will actually hinge and come out. Its wires are attached firmly. You don't need to worry about them, just unwrap it. And now we have 4 screws to remove on the hard drive. Now these are a Phillips P0, larger screw. Or excuse me, a P1. Take out the 4 screws. Now notice this one, I'm actually having to go through the frame. There's a hole in the frame. You might find that it's actually got a piece of yellow Kapton tape right here on the inside of the frame, keeping you from pushing the screwdriver through until you remove that tape. Just remove it, and you'll need to put it back in when you're all done. And the hard drive will come right out. Now, to remove the interposer board from the back of the hard drive, very gently wiggle it, and you'll see that the connector is actually starting to come loose right here a little bit, and the drive will come right out. To insert the new drive, line up the connector, fully seat it, and now you have to do a little bit of a balancing act to line up the 4 screws and reinsert